Hello and welcome to Value Research Podcast. You're listening to First Page, a column written by Virendra Kumar. The old-fashioned art of the scam. Some scamsters still prefer the personal touch in an age of digital fraud. In this era of sophisticated digital scams, where fraudsters lurk behind phone screens and web page pop-ups, one must grudgingly acknowledge the Taurus jewelry scandal for its refreshingly old-school approach. While cyber criminals are busy perfecting their automated voice messages and phishing techniques, these folks did it traditionally. Actual shops, real jewelry, and good old-fashioned face-to-face deception. The Taurus scheme, which unfolded in Mumbai, reads like a classic fraud from the 1990s. A seemingly legitimate business promising astronomical returns. We're talking about 3 to 7% weekly and annual returns of up to 520% on investments in moissanite stones. They didn't even try to complicate it with cryptocurrency or NFTs, those darlings of modern financial fraud. Instead, they stuck to the time-tested formula. Have a physical presence, take money from new investors to pay old ones, add a dash of multi-level marketing, and garnish with the glitter of precious stones. But here's what should worry us all. Despite decades of similar scams, countless warnings and cautionary tales, approximately 1.25 lakh investors still fell for it, potentially losing up to 1,000 crore rupees. This wasn't some fly-by-night operation either. Taurus operated proper stores, marketed aggressively during the festive season, and created an elaborate facade of legitimacy that would have made Charles Ponzi proud. The more things change, the more they stay the same. As I pointed out in an earlier column about digital scams targeting senior citizens, fraudsters are becoming increasingly sophisticated in their methods. Yet, the Taurus case reminds us that human nature remains our biggest vulnerability. Whether it's pressing 1 on your phone in response to a recorded message about a suspicious courier package or investing your savings in schemes promising impossible returns, the fundamental weakness being exploited is the same. Our eternal optimism that we have somehow stumbled upon that rare opportunity to get rich quick. The authorities must do more than chase after these fraudsters once the damage is done. Yes, the Mumbai Police's Economic Offences Wing is now conducting raids and issuing lookout circulars for the absconding masterminds, but wouldn't it be better if such schemes were detected much earlier? We must set severe examples to make future fraudsters think twice before attempting such elaborate cons. However, let's be honest, regulation and enforcement can only go so far. As investors, we must develop a healthy skepticism towards any scheme that promises returns that sound too good. If someone offers you 520% annual returns, your first reaction should be to run in the opposite direction, not to check your bank balance to see how much you can invest. The truly worrying part is that these scams are getting more sophisticated in their targeting while remaining fundamentally simple. The Taurus scheme, for instance, cleverly exploited the festive season's natural association with jewelry purchases. They understood that people are likelier to trust a business they can see and touch, especially one dealing in something traditionally valuable as precious stones. As I have emphasized before, when discussing financial frauds, while the medium might evolve, the basic principles remain unchanged. Whether it's a voice on your phone trying to panic you about a legal notice or a jewelry store promising impossible returns, the best defense remains the same: a healthy dose of skepticism and the wisdom to recognize what I've long maintained, that genuine wealth building is usually a slow, steady process. The Taurus case should remind us that if something glitters too brightly in financial matters, it's probably fool's gold. While we wait for the authorities to strengthen their oversight and enforcement mechanisms, we should remember that common sense is the first line of defense against digital or traditional fraud.